You know, Chris, a lot of people ask us why we don't have sponsors already.
Yeah, it sure is a big question that a lot of people ask us. You know, we don't really just do this for the sponsorship. We really do this because we have a passion for it. And sponsors do come, it'll be great.
That's right.
It's really just, it's for the love of the fans. That's what we're doing it for. Where'd you get that?
Just really hits the spot, you know. A good old, refreshing Dasani.
Peyton?
Yeah.
Why did you hold it to your camera like that? Why'd you do that?
No reason.
No, you were holding it as like you were. Are you a sponsor now? Are you sponsored by Dasani?
No.
Well,
Just wanted to tell people about my love for Dasani.
you just winked at the camera. What are you, some sort of paid athlete? No, dude. What is the matter with you? I can't believe you would do something stupid so low. That's just not fair. What else is not fair? It's not using Wilson NFL brand footballs. If you're a quarterback, a wide receiver, or just even out there just playing some good old tag football, Wilson makes sure that you have the best football advantage out there. Wilson, we know real NFL.
Where did you even get a football?
Where'd you get that Dasani bottle?
In the break room.
I got this from a kid at the park.
You stole it, didn't you?
He was fat, so it doesn't matter. Roll it open, please. Hey, how's it going, everyone? Hey, whoa, it's been a minute, but hey, it was good to see you again. I'm Christopher Gates.
I'm Peyton Fretwell.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of What to Watch. Peyton, my goodness, we're getting there towards the middle way of summer movie months.
Yeah.
We've already seen some good ones. We've seen some bad ones.
Seen a lot of bad ones.
So yeah, but there's some good up-and-coming ones that are coming out this month. You got the Secret Life of Pets, Ghostbusters the following week.
Asterisk.
Asterisk, yeah, definitely asterisk like that. Another big one that's coming out is Star Trek Beyond. July 22nd, that one comes out. It's the third in this new reboot trilogy that they're doing. One of the interesting tidbits that came out today was the character Sulu being played by John Choi in the new Star Trek Beyond movie. It's turned out that his character is actually being revealed to be gay.
Yeah, and I believe you meant John Cho in that one, but definitely, it's okay. Names are hard. But yeah, they revealed that his character would be gay, his Sulu would be gay, in honor of George Takei.
Yeah.
George Takei, one of them. But he actually George Takei came out and said that this was not the original plan for his character, and that he felt like this was sort of disrespectful or kind of disgracing the original work of Star Trek, the original Sulu. And I thought this brought up an interesting question on whether or not is this the kind of thing that we need to see in movies where this kind of reckless abandon of source material? And I'm not a Trek fan, so I'm interested in hearing what you, the viewers, think about something like this. And I feel like this is a problem J.J. Abrams has with adapting source material. Not necessarily with Star Wars. He did that well, but I felt like that was more Disney interfering than Star Trek.
You're absolutely right. It's the first thought that came to me was that and don't take any offense. That's perfectly fine if they want to make Sulu gay in the new movie. I mean, that all has to them. You know, that's fine. The character himself is so fascinating. What is interesting to me is that I feel like they really just did this move simply because of the original actor himself. That, you know, George Takei is actually gay himself. And so I was just kind of wondering, were they just doing that in honor of him? Which is maybe flattering, but like you say, it takes away from the original aspect of it. And another thing that kind of gets me, or that makes me question, is that obviously there are a number of gay actors who are playing straight characters in a number of TV shows and movies. Another one that particularly comes out is Ezra Miller, The Flash. He is actually gay himself in real life, but he is playing The Flash. And it makes me kind of wonder, like, would that make the Flash character himself, would DC willing to do that, since, other stuff? Sometimes it makes me wonder, like, would you take a person's sexuality and mold that into a character for years, have always been this or that.
And it's like you said, there's no problem with him being a gay character. It's just, are we doing this as, just because George Takei is a gay character? He's a gay person himself. Gay person? That feels wrong coming out of the mouth. But
we know what you mean.
Okay.
It's okay.
But it just seems like they're doing this kind of in honor of George Takei, but it's disgracing the character. And I feel like a lot of franchises that have been rebooted kind of have this problem with adapting them into this new world that we live in and kind of putting aside what made the characters special in the first place. And this is one of the things I'm worried about with the Ghostbusters movie as well as the Star Trek movie. Star Wars came out in December. One of the big things that people liked about it is that it felt like it was part of Star Wars. It felt like Star Wars. Mm-hmm. And Star Trek, in its last outing with Into Darkness, a lot of people didn't like that Benedict Cumberbatch was playing Khan because they felt like, that's kind of whitewashing when originally Khan was played by a Hispanic actor.
Ricardo Montalban.
Ricardo Montalban.
I got that name right.
Boom. And it feels like they're taking these characters and not necessarily ruining them, but they're doing things for the sake of, hey, wouldn't this be cool if we did this? But they're getting rid of all the things that made them special. In the original Star Trek, now, like I said, I'm not a Star Trek fan. Sulu was played by a gay actor, but his character was not.
Yeah.
And when you go back and kind of retcon who that is, now it gets fuzzy with this new Star Trek because they confirmed in the new one that it's kind of this different timeline.
Yeah, for those who didn't know, that they've set Star Trek fans, this is a completely different alternate timeline from the original Star Treks that you see for the TV series or even the movies or Star Trek. This is their own version. It's a movie version of it.
Which kind of gives them
leeway to make some adjustments.
To really do anything, because they can just go, hey, it's a different universe, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, you have to think, are we marginalizing the people who like Star Trek in the first place? I understand that they are trying to make this an accessible franchise for a new generation. Mm-hmm. See, new generation, Star Trek
generation.
But at what point do you realize, okay, the people who wanted to go see this movie are obviously Star Trek fans already. Mm-hmm. At what point do you say, okay, maybe we stop changing characters and just kind of let them be who they were meant to be? So, and I'm not saying that this is the line, like making a character gay. That's the least of it. But we're just using this kind of as a reason to talk about this. And yeah, like that. And with the Ghostbusters, did the Ghostbusters have to be all women? No. But it is an interesting take on the characters. Now, we won't know until we see the movie, just like we won't see until Star Trek Beyond, mm-hmm. whether or not that was worth the change. But if there is a story for newly homosexual Sulu to take in the Star Trek Beyond, then okay. If it's good for the character.
Do you think it's a publicity stunt to get people to go see this movie? Because in Star Trek's defense, it has lost a lot of steam in comparison to that of Star Wars. Star Wars is really, it's gained back its popularity, and Disney has done a fantastic job with it. Do you think Star Trek is trying to do something to gain people, get that other audience in it? Because I will admit, one of the things I've heard from a number of people is that there was not a gay character, or at least they know of, in The Force Awakens, and people were trying to, they wanted to appeal to that. Even people with Civil War, they were like, hey, you know what, would it be great if Captain America and Bucky had some sort of relationship? And and in a sense, I understand where the gay community is coming from, that it would be nice if you see these major characters who, for the longest amount of time, that are, since these are different universes doing it, to relate the characters to them and relate the characters to issues that are going on today.
Yeah.
Because, I will say, just the civility rights of the LGBT community, it's been, they've been going through a lot of struggles too. So it would be nice to see if Hollywood to do that to the characters. But I do wonder, is this just more of a publicity to maybe do that and not really enhancing the story or enhancing the storyline or adding any depth to the character or itself?
I definitely think on some level it may be a publicity stunt, but I don't think it was solely done for that reason. This may be, like I said, this might be a plot that they explore in the movie, and it might be a small storyline, and maybe it's insignificant altogether in the grand scheme of the actual movie. But like you said, it is interesting. The Star Trek did lose a little steam with the second one because it wasn't good.
Yep.
And I agree with you that the LGBT community needs to be represented in Hollywood a little more, just like everyone needs to be. Women, African American, Latino American, et cetera, Asian American, especially Asian American as well. And
sorry, Ghost in the Shell.
Sorry, Ghost in the Shell. But and that's a whole nother video to talk about.
Yeah.
But LGBT representation in Hollywood definitely is something that needs to be focused on. I don't know if it needs to start with these big tentpole characters like the ones in Star Trek or maybe even the ones in Marvel. I do think it'd be interesting to maybe start a Marvel superhero that just so happens to be gay, and because I feel like that's one of the things that Hollywood does is they kind of play up on these tropes and these stereotypes. And I would hate for the first gay superhero to be this guy in a pink leotard coming out of there, and he's just like, just flashing over. I would like for one of the Marvel superheroes to just be like, oh, by the way, I'm gay, and that would be fantastic. I would love that.
Interesting since you said that, because with the X-Men movies going to a different timeline, one of the main characters they just turned out recently, Iceman himself, recently has been revealed to be gay. So I wonder if they bring back that character in the upcoming X-Men movies, will Iceman actually be gay like he is in the comic books now? And that's just something that they've been working with, and they've been doing that. And it's a very interesting, it intrigues me in the sense to see how do people react to it, because, do you make it all big and flashy and make it a big ordeal that like, oh, like you're never going to guess what next? Or do you just do you present it in a mature, fashionable sort of way? Do you do it big, grand Disney fashion when they used to do like love stories? It's like he's really gay. He's don't make a song and dance out of it. If a character happens to be gay, or they happen to be bi, or whatever their sexuality is,
And we're by no means authorities on the LGBT community. No. We're just two straight guys talking about what we think Hollywood should do about.
So please say no offense. I'm sorry.
Yeah. We're just kind of talking, and we want you guys to talk to us on Twitter and Facebook and what you guys think about the reveal. And we'll
tweet us at WRBL.com. At WRBL What to Watch. You can also find us on WRBL.com on the Watch tab. And you can there's our Twitter page right there. There's WRBL right there. Look at that. You know what? This director deserves every gold star. There's our YouTube right there. Search for us on YouTube at WRBL What to Watch. You can subscribe and like this video and more videos that we have posted. Look, I even got a playlist for rental reviews and everything else that's fancy, so that's pretty good.